consistently to be under the microscope like that, it's not going to do his confidence any good. To be publicly dropped as he was, or rotated, as Carlo Ancelotti likes to say, against Newcastle. Look at Chelsea, Victor. Look at what they've done. They have the world's most expensive goalkeeper. Didn't look like it was working out. So they went out and bought Edouard Mendy. 5 clean sheets in a row for him. And look at Chelsea. They look like a vastly different team. Doesn't that say something about the predicament at Everton? Because there's a Sergio Romero at Manchester United who was heavily linked to join Everton in the summer, but ultimately United said, no, you're going to stay here, but not be registered for any competitions. Yeah,
I think it's something that Carlo, Ancelotti must be looking at a lot, for him to get dropped the last game. I think he's trying to give him, a bit of a kick as well and say, look, there's competition here. You're not just going to play every week. I don't know who should be number one. I don't know too much about the other goalkeeper. I know that Jordan is a very good goalkeeper. I do think that, you need time. You look at De Gea when he first came into the league. He used to make a lot of mistakes. He used to make so many mistakes, and now we recognize him as one of the best goalkeepers. So sometimes with goalkeepers, you do have to give them time, but we can't keep talking about the same, kind of mistakes as well. So I do think that he needs to get this out of his game sooner rather than later. So we're not here at the end of the game talking about only him, about the mistakes that he makes.
But yeah. with the comparison of De Gea was when he first came to England. Pickford has been brought up in the English system. He's played for a high-pressure club because the fans are all over you at Sunderland and now at Everton. He's England's #1. I mean, the stakes don't come much higher when you're an English player, obviously. And he's played over 100 games, well over 100 games for Everton. It's not like he's a 20-year-old keeper anymore. He's 26, 27 next year.
Yeah. I'm not trying to make excuses for Jordan either. I think he'll know himself the things that he needs to improve. But, when we were at Sunderland, Vito Manone was the one that was playing, and Jordan kind of just came in. I think Vito made a couple of mistakes, and Jordan came in, and that was his introduction into, real first-team football that season. And then the following season, he signed for Everton. So he has kind of been fast-tracked, into playing for a big club. Again, no excuses for him. He does know that he needs to, improve certain things. And if Carlo sees that he needs to make a change, I'm sure that he will. Because,
Vic, Vic, there is like one thing. It is like we're not blaming his quality as a goalkeeper. Can stop saves and shots. I mean, and all those things is part of his game. His kicks. He's very confident lad. But in some way, sometimes that's the extent of confidence that he shows is the problem. So he need to. It's more in the head. So I don't know if maybe having like a player or another goalkeeper, is able to put him a bit under pressure. But we are not challenging at all his quality. He's making mistakes based on overconfidence. It's most of the thing that we are complaining about it. So this is something needs to be addressed.
Let me ask. You've mentioned that he does make very good save. But as a fellow professional footballer or retired, when it comes to a goalkeeper, isn't the most important thing above everything else consistency? I've said that word a lot today, but that's what you want.
But consistency, it's something that is a bit difficult to address as a goalkeeper. You could have like great games and all that, and it's about like sometimes have a balance with confidence, as I said, and like spreading it to the defenders and shouting and all those things. And on the same way, those things can make mistakes. So it's really hard to read the game of a goalkeeper, and it's the same as a striker. People will call it you're arrogant, because you take the ball, you dribble too much, but that things make you unpredictable. And sometimes, especially as we'll say in the mind, sometimes striker and goalkeepers are a bit similar. You have to play on the edge sometimes and be confident, and sometimes really very organized and structured. But this is really, really tough. That's why I'm not blaming overall his game, because he's a top goalkeeper and his confidence is part of his quality. But he have to those mistakes is something that is a bit let's say it's visual, so everybody can see it. and that's not should be part of his game.
Louis,
I do agree with Louis there. I do agree with Louis there, but he definitely has to be consistent. Like the foundation of his game has to be consistent and cool, so you do breathe that confidence into the defense, so they're not always thinking, if this ball goes behind me, you know, something's going to happen. So Liverpool addressed it, you know, they got Alisson, and all these different teams have addressed these situations, and you can see throughout the whole team, they have confidence throughout the whole team. And I don't think that Everton fully have that just yet. But like I said, I think he'll be a good goalkeeper over time.
Let me ask you this, Louis. You at Fulham, you had Edwin van der Sar, one of history's greatest goalkeepers there. Then you joined Manchester United. Van der Sar would only come a year after you joined the Red Devils. So who was in goal before he came in? And how much confidence do you have in that keeper? Because we saw Sir Alex felt the need to go and buy Van der Sar the following summer.
You know, I will take this example, you know, because, yes, this year I joined United. It was Timo Wood, and he was a goalkeeper, like, very good at doing his job and playing with his quality and all that. But I know that some goalkeepers sometimes have extra bit when they want to play forward and when they want to go outside for, let's say, corner kicks, and you have that confidence because you have that height. And maybe it was some quality that the manager was looking. So he went to pick up Edwin van der Sar. But we as players never had like massive doubts about the goalkeeper. It was more about the style of play that we have. We wanted to play from the back and be very confident when maybe an opposition try to press. You have that quality on the feet that you have an extra player to play with. So it was like that kind of switch. You know, I would say that Edwin van der Sar is one of the first goalkeeper who was very comfortable with the ball. So it was a kind of like, start of a new era for goalkeepers. And I think now it's up to standard. Every goalkeepers you see in the league, every manager will look for goalkeepers like this because it's fun. It's everyone to play on the floor and make sure that you not kick every time because some striker is pressing you, you know. And this is a new era of football. That's why everybody is adapting. You know, I see the football is not the same as like 6 or 7 years ago. I may not be playing the same way. I may be a different player because we had to adapt. And I think goalkeepers is the same.
How about this? Final question on the topic of the goalkeeper. Sergio Romero, with the January transfer window not too far away, he's not registered for any competitions. Hypothetically, if United were willing to sell him to Everton, would he improve the side? Victor first.
I think he would. I think he would improve the side. I think he's a quality goalkeeper. Probably, I like both of them. I think both of them are really good, but I do think that, you know, he could improve the side, and we won't always just be talking about, you know, the things that Jordan's done.
Louis?
That's what I think.
I know you would have seen Sergio Romero a lot playing for Manchester United. Your perception?
It's a very experienced. Yeah, it's a very experienced player. Will bring confidence about his communication, all those things. Definitely, he's in his favor. So basically, you know, you will have like 2 good goalkeepers free because I think Olsen is an international goalkeeper as well. So of course, it's something is a challenging things. You know, as I said, like De Gea went through it. You see goalkeepers coming, or maybe articles saying about goalkeepers coming. You have to deal with it. You know, you have to focus on your game and try to improve every day. So yes, obviously it's a tough job because it's only one place. So, you know, be on the bench is really hard as a goalkeeper. Really, really tough.
But you haven't answered the question the way Victor did. Would he improve Everton?
I think yes, because I said he's got the quality, he's got the experience, his communication will be right up there. He's got the experience of like winning trophies. All these things are like always good to have in a squad, you know. So having like 2 or 3 or 4 players in that stature is always beneficial. So obviously, when you are like a key position, especially, it's enormous. So I do think that Pickford is a good player and need to improve. And this is always a good way to learn, because if that quality goalkeeper is alongside you every day in training, it helps.
Yeah. And that's what I was gonna say the same as well. I feel like football has lost that a little bit. We talk about Manchester United and a lot of clubs, you know, we talk about leadership and stuff. when we were coming through, we had Louis and all these other older guys there to learn from. If Romero does decide, if Everton ever did decide to get Romero, he's 33, Jordan's 26. He could learn so much from him, you know, in that period, and that'll improve Everton for the future, that Jordan could learn from Romero and, you know, things like this. But right now, in football, that's kind of gone now. You know, you've got leaders that are like 23, 24. So sometimes they put a lot of emphasis onto the manager, saying, oh, the manager needs to do more. But we had a manager, but then the players, the older players especially, they were also the managers. They were the leaders. And that's gone out to football a lot of recent years, I think. I think it's gone out to football recently.
It's a very, very good point, you know, and try to add onto it. The example, I was like watching Rashford, for example, and I could see that sometimes he was like dribbling and maybe could have passed the ball earlier and all that, but no one around him has that kind of stature to go and tell him off, you know, and saying, hey, hang on a minute. No, because he's already, as his age, the top player. And I don't think that anybody feel confident to actually shout at him. I don't think that he ever come across in our generation, let's say, as like I had a big players around me and whatever, like even if they were young, they could be like as well challenging you. And those are like figures are disappearing like year after year.
In regards to experienced goalkeepers helping the younger ones, not everybody could be like Chelsea, being able to pull Petr Cech out of retirement and making him an active player in the squad.